The instant Melissa's shrill scream echoed across the lake, her jet ski vanishing beneath her like a botched magic trick, I knew I just witnessed the most glorious 20 seconds of vengeance in my life. There she was, thrashing in the middle of the lake, mascara streaking down her face, her rhinestone tiara lopsided, grasping at thin air as if it could save her. My jet ski let out one last gurgle before sinking into the murky green depths. It was like a scene ripped from a tacky daytime drama. But the raw humiliation on Melissa's face was no act, it was visceral, dripping with the very lake water she thought she ruled. On the shore, jaws dropped. The HOA president fumbled his clipboard. A teenager whipped out his phone to record. I lounged in my dock chair, iced tea in hand, casually tapping my phone as the final sync sequence completed. What Melissa didn't know was this wasn't an accident. It was retribution, meticulously planned, and it was only the opening act. 2 weeks earlier, life by the lake was peaceful. Neighbors waved, the water shimmered, and my custom jet ski sleek with black trim and a whisper-quiet electric engine drew admiring glances. I'd spent a year crafting that machine, wiring in a GPS kill switch, buoyancy controls, and a covert sync protocol. It wasn't just anti-theft tech, it was a statement. I cherished this lake. But ever since the HOA crowned Melissa their lake oversight director, everything changed. Armed with a megaphone, laminated rulebooks, and an ego the size of the lake itself, she issued absurd fines for things like excessive splashing or unpermitted pool floats. Her real target? Anyone who dared defy her, especially me. The feud ignited when I refused her demand to install an HOA-branded canoe rack on my private dock. It was a sunny Sunday, the lake sparkling, birds chirping. Melissa marched up in her official HOA visor, clutching a map she called the Community Aesthetic Enhancement Plan. In reality, it was her scheme to control the last free corner of the lake. I told her, politely but firmly, to get lost. Her face twisted like she'd bitten a lemon. From that day, she waged a silent war. Yellow citation slips appeared on my mailbox, weekly fines for noisy pets when I only had a goldfish or shoreline degradation from my propane grill. I laughed it off until she escalated, threatening to haul me before the HOA's disciplinary panel. That's when I knew she'd crossed a line. The tipping point came when Melissa thought I'd left town. I'd parked my car at my cousin's and posted fake vacation photos online, knowing she stalked my socials like a vulture. But I was still home, hidden in my lakeside cabin, watching everything through discreet cameras around my boathouse. Part paranoia, part strategy, it paid off. At 9:43 a.m. on a Saturday, Melissa strutted to my boathouse in a neon pink rash guard and water shoes that looked like mutant flippers. She carried bolt cutters, glanced around, and sniffed my lock like a wannabe secret agent. My phone lit up with the live feed as she yanked the cover off my jet ski, hopped on without a second thought, and sped off, ignoring the engraved plaque screaming, "Property of Ethan Cole." She even patted the handlebars, crowing, "Queen of the Lake," as she roared away. Her joyride was a performance. She buzzed the senior kayaking group, sending waves that nearly capsized Mrs. Larson's Chihuahua. She waved at the clubhouse like a pageant queen, then tore past a family towing an inflatable unicorn, making their kid bawl. The HO's board watched, horrified, some recognizing my jet ski, others pretending not to. Melissa had gone full rogue, and no one dared stop her until I did. From my app, I triggered Phase 1, engine disable. The jet ski coughed, stalled, and drifted dead in the lake's center. Melissa jabbed buttons, yanked the throttle, and screamed for help. Nothing. Shoreline onlookers pulled out phones, some chuckling. Then came Phase 2, ballast deployment. Water flooded the ski's hidden compartments, tipping it. Melissa shrieked, flailing as the machine wobbled. She stood, accusing invisible saboteurs, her voice carrying over the water. The HOA stood frozen, useless. Finally, she plunged in with a splash that echoed off the cliffs. As she floundered, I sipped my tea and activated Phase 3, full sync. The jet ski slipped beneath the surface like a specter. Melissa was towed to shore, wrapped in a grudgingly offered towel, her makeup a soggy mess, muttering about lawsuits. She had no clue she'd just starred in the lake's greatest act of karma, captured in 4K from multiple angles. But this was just the start. Her tantrum erupted on dry land, accusing someone of sabotage and calling the jet ski a public menace. Neighbors smirked behind sunglasses, and when she slipped on the dock ramp, landing hard, only old Mr. Grayson bothered to help. Her power was unraveling, and she couldn't see it. Within hours, my footage hit a private online forum I ran for HOA gripes, titled Melissa's Unauthorized Joyride Meets Lake Karma. It spread like wildfire, her every throttle twist and scream memed with dramatic music and slow-mo. The slip on the dock looped endlessly. But Melissa wasn't one to admit defeat. By morning, a violation notice was taped to my door, typed in screaming caps, accusing me of orchestrating an aquatic hazard and demanding $10,000 for marine terrorism and digital weaponization. She signed it Melissa Hargrove, HOA Chief Waterfront Authority. It was laughable, but dangerous. I called my lawyer. Melissa had committed theft, trespassing, and property damage, all on camera. Her joyride was a legal landmine, and I had the proof. Officer Martinez, our town's lake cop, nearly choked on his coffee watching the footage. He took it seriously, filing a report and assuring me the case was airtight. I sent Melissa a cease and desist letter, demanding she retract her fine, apologize publicly, and pay for retrieving my jet ski, itemized down to the last screw. The next HOA meeting was a circus. The community center overflowed with residents, some bringing popcorn. Melissa arrived late, sporting a neck brace for sympathy, though she'd never been injured. She ranted about anarchists using military-grade tech to undermine the lake, glaring at me. I stood, played a 10-second clip of her yelling, "My lake, my rules," while nearly ramming a picnic float. The room exploded in gasps and stifled laughs. I handed the board the police report, my lawyer's letter, and proof of ownership, then sat down. Melissa stammered about fake evidence, but no one cared. The meeting ended with no action against me, but neighbors began speaking out. Stories of her petty fines, unapproved flower pots, loud wind chimes, even improper mailbox fonts poured forth. Her reign was cracking. Then came the bombshell. The dive team retrieving my jet ski found something else, a locked waterproof case chained under the HOA dock. Inside were algae-stained envelopes with names, dates, and fines, some forged, others backdated, targeting Melissa's critics. A waterlogged burner phone held texts plotting escalations against residents, including me. Watch Ethan's tech. Make next fine stick. It was a goldmine of fraud and harassment. I handed it to Officer Martinez, who launched a formal investigation. Melissa, oblivious, doubled down, blasting an HOA newsletter accusing me of digital sabotage and demanding my dock privileges be revoked. It backfired. Neighbors flooded the HOA with demands for transparency. A local reporter caught wind, publishing The Lake Tyrant and The Sunken Ski, with screenshots of Melissa's mid-lake flop. Anonymous residents shared their own horror stories, exposing her pyramid of lies. The Jet Justice Bash was my final move. The lake buzzed with food trucks, kids and floaties, and a floating screen replaying Melissa's meltdown. I took the mic, revealed the underwater evidence, and showed the crowd her forged fines and texts. Gasps turned to applause, not of joy, but of vindication. Melissa didn't show, but by morning, she'd quit the HOA, citing personal healing. No one bought it. The board called an emergency meeting, where residents aired years of grievances. Officer Martinez arrived, announcing a fraud investigation based on the lake evidence. The board froze fines, disbanded Melissa's fake title, and opened nominations for new leaders. The room felt alive, united. Melissa's empire collapsed quietly. The audit widened, uncovering her past scams in another town. A viral video broke down the jet ski saga, hitting millions of views, turning Melissa into a cautionary tale. But the real win was the lake itself, kids biking freely, neighbors hosting potlucks, the water glowing with donated solar lights. One day, a cryptic note arrived. Hope you're proud. I was. Not for sinking a jet ski, but for sparking a community's fight back. The new dock, dubbed Jet Justice Pier by a hand-painted sign, stood as proof. The lake was ours again, stronger for the chaos, and Melissa's ripples had finally stilled.